We need to talk about Dejan Kulusevski, and I know this might sound like a bit of a hot take, but I think he's not only been Tottenham's player of the season so far, but one of the players of the season so far in the Premier League. Rival fans may disagree, they'll argue for their own players, of course, but he's been an absolute marvel in this Ange Postecoglou attacking system this season. A bright spark in those dull moments and an attacking essence that screams Ange Ball. So today on the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, I'm going to be answering the question how Ange Postecoglou unlocked Dejan Kulusevski. And if you are new to the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, then drop a like on the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also leave a comment and tell me what you think of Kulusevski. I've actually done a few videos on Kulusevski since I launched the channel last year. I am a massive fan and have been a massive fan of him. So I've not just jumped on the bandwagon since his form has come to fruition this season. And, you know, if you don't believe me, here are some videos to prove my point. He is such an all-round player, and a lot of people who were writing him off about him being predictable and one-footed and slow and lacking in goal contributions are going to come back and be haunted by what they said about him. When people question Kulusevski, they usually say one of two things. He's not got pace, he's not quick enough to be a winger, or he's not getting enough goal contributions. And I feel like both are widely off the mark to an extent. Well, I'm going to start with his pace. I feel like his pace is just a stupid stick to hit him with. He's just such a good dribbler. He sort of reminds me, actually, his play style in general. I'm not saying he's on the same level, as a mixture between Kevin De Bruyne in sort of, you know, his sort of running style and dribbling and his potential of delivery, and a bit like Bernardo Silva as well, but not as good as them two. But looking at the games so far where he has been the man of the match and the best player on the pitch, Manchester United and West Ham United, you can just see that he is the attacking essence of Ange Ball. Everything that he seems to touch in this Tottenham side is turning to gold. Deki and Kulu, whatever you want to call him. Let me know actually in the comments down below. Do you call him Deki or do you call him Kulu? I seem to always call him Kulu, but a lot of people seem to call him Deki. But that's a debate for down below. But yeah, I just think that after watching him in that game, especially after the Maddison substitution, he was unlocked even further. And don't get me wrong, I like this new attacking formation by Postecoglou with the 2-8 of Maddison and obviously Kulusevski as well. I don't think, you know, this is something that's going to happen going forward. It seemed quite dramatic at the time, but I think they can still both work very well together. Maddison actually created the most chances of any player in the Premier League at the weekend, and he only played 45 minutes. But I think in this game in particular against West Ham, after they went 1-0 up, they sat very deep, and he needed Sarr's legs in there to sort of break it up and, you know, just sort of see a different style of play. But going back to the main man of the hour, Kulusevski, and these are the stats that I just want to highlight of how good he has been so far. So, Dejan Kulusevski, this graph against Premier League midfielders. Most key passes, first in Europe. Most progressive runs, first in Europe. Most accelerations, first in Europe. Most deep completions, first in Europe. Most dribbles per 90, most offensive duels per 90. And you just see on that graph there, the company he is sort of keeping in and amongst all these different midfielders, you know, Cole Palmer's, your Bernardo Silva's, Maddison, Gibbs-White, Amari Hutchinson, João Pedro, Dominic Solanke, Emil Smith-Rowe, to name just a few. Ryan Gravenberch as well, who's been applauded a lot this season. This obviously is of the Premier League midfielders, but he still is leading the way in European competition. And then we also have his FB Rev stats. And obviously people will, and I'll get onto this point about his goal contributions shortly, but if you look there, his key attributes, it's his shot creating actions, his XAG, expected assisted goals per 90 as well, very high. His progressive passes, his progressive carries, his touches, his progressive passes received, his tackles and interceptions. He does that very well as well. I think that's underrated. He is actually very good defensively and tracking back for this Spurs side. But, and I saw this on various videos by Ben Bowman and James Alcott, Kulusevski is comfortable taking the ball in awkward positions in that 8, and that's what Ange Postecoglou really wants from a player in this team. He wants them to sort of take it on and, you know, really unlock those passes that your Dominic Solankes, your, you know, Brennan Johnsons and obviously Heung-Min sons can get on the back of. I think this is what has been very fundamental. And, you know, talking about my previous videos about Dejan Kulusevski, I believe that he was better in this position. He's even said himself he's better in this position. You know, he likes playing midfield. He likes playing deeper. We saw it last season without Maddison, and maybe he was acclimatising to it, but we're seeing the form that he had when he first came to the club. Obviously, when he first came to the club, he was lining up in that front three predominantly with Harry Kane and obviously Son as well. And there's a lot of players at Tottenham, even up till now, including Kane at the time as well, who like the ball to feet. They like to start deep and go with it. But Kulusevski just has, you know, his feet are like wands. On the wing, it was a bit predictable what he was going to do. He was obviously always going to cut in on that left foot. But in midfield, it's a bit more dynamic and you don't know actually what he's going to do. And I think that is obviously really key. And also, I wanted to highlight another article that I read, obviously, from my beloved talkSPORT about his inspiration, actually, because it says Cristiano Ronaldo's wisdom is finally paying off for informed Tottenham star. And it sort of says how, you know, Kulusevski revealed that insight from Cristiano Ronaldo has been the catalyst for his recent upturn in form. Obviously, played together when they were in Juventus. And it goes to show that he wants to obviously be this player that can go to the next level. And I think we saw this he did multiple post-match reactions with various different outlets. And just from what he has said, and I'm going to show you some clips of them now, you can tell his aura and his mentality is going to that next level. Ange is bringing the best out of him and unlocking him in this midfield.
Well done.
Well played, Dejan.
Brilliant.
Go on, you grab that mic off Milesy. Dejan, we're kind of running out of ways to praise your performance here. You were absolutely everywhere today, got on the score sheet as well. What pleased you most?
That we won. That's the most important thing. And second half was very good. We were very clinical and killed the game in the first 10 minutes.
You've come back this season and it might feel to you like you're doing everything the same as you've always done, but it looks to us from the outside that you have gone on to another level. Do you know what that's down to?
Yeah, I know, because every year I just get better and better because I understand what I'm doing wrong and I'm understanding things to improve. So this was my plan in the summer, to work on the things I want to work on. So I changed my mindset. I even started training even more than before. So, and this is on the beginning. I know that I can play much better than this, so I just want to keep improving to become one of the best players in the world.
Is this physically? Is this like you've tried to work physically to make sure that you can cover more ground, you're stronger, you're quicker?
Yeah, absolutely. I changed my training routine, and that's why you can't understand everything when you're that young. So every year you get experience and you improve on every side of the football.
Dejan, you've been taking in these celebrations with the Tottenham fans. It was a London derby that seemed to have everything. Goals, red cards, how was it out there?
Yeah, first half was tough, honestly, because, you know, you cannot always be 100% physically. And they did good. They scored a goal. We didn't defend good. But then when I scored 1-1, I knew we were going to win. So that was important.
Is there a better feeling than scoring at home? Your first this season, second overall.
No, it's why I work for, especially shoot outside of the box. So it was important for me, and now I can only look forward and help this team anymore.
Were you pleased with the reaction, though, from going 1-0 down?
Yeah, I think when we play good, we're unbelievable. But we have to defend much better, and we have to train on that more.
Take us inside the dressing room at half-time. Ange Postecoglou has decided to make a substitution. What is his messaging at this point?
I think the balance was not good enough. We were a little bit too much offensive, so we have to look into that and improve next game.
Did that allow you, though, to have more freedom, relieve you of defensive duties a little bit? And do you enjoy that?
Yeah, of course. Like, it's hard to do both things all the time. So it was good that we got Pop in, and I think Pop changed the game for us.
Well, in that second half, I think it was 7 minutes and 14 seconds between 2-1 and 4-1. The atmosphere in here and everything, just the momentum. The smile comes over your face when I say that. The momentum was with you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Tottenham football. When everything is clicking, we can score 4 goals in 4 minutes. So more of that, please.
Is this get you back on track?
Yeah, but like keep on saying, we forget about this tomorrow and work even harder because we have to go up in the championship.
All right, well, one final thing. You are the player of the match. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
When you go forward like that with confidence, did you feel as though almost every attack there was a threat?
Yeah, but I usually feel like that when we're playing. Then, of course, first half they put 11 players in their own half, and then it's a little bit more difficult. But I like I said, we're scoring a lot of goals, and it feels like we can score anytime.
You were really good against Brighton, and then it slipped away. Were you keen to make sure to make amends today?
Yeah, we have to improve. When you lose, you have to see what you did wrong, and you have to do as it can't happen again. So I was very pleased that today we did better. And we can't forget, before Brighton we had 5 wins in a row, so the team is doing very good. Do we have to improve? Yes, but I think that we are on the right road.
When you look at your start to the season, how would you assess how you guys have got on?
No, like I said, we have very high highs, but sometimes we're too low, so we have to improve, and we're not happy where we are, but we're happy as how we are playing. So we just have to get more results of our performances.
Just one final thought. You play in a very different role to how you used to. How much do you enjoy that?
This is my dream role. Just instincts, go where I think I can hurt the opposition most, and I finally have the confidence from everybody around me to do that, and then I'm just say thank you and keep doing good and doing for this club what they need.
And obviously as well, I want to talk about his goals and assists, because, you know, maybe some people say he doesn't get enough. This season he has actually been quite fruitful with his returns, and you've just got to look at his goal against, you know, West Ham. The way he sort of picks it up, cuts in, lets fly, and it just caresses that inner post to go in, and just, you know, dumbfounds Areola in the West Ham net. He obviously deserved his man of the match. It was just an absolute given. He was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. Better than Kudus for West Ham. Better than, you know, any player from the east side of London. I was very happy with his displays. And then I just want to talk as well about, you know, obviously where this leaves Tottenham, because, you know, the fixtures are thick and fast. We've got a lot of competitions to play this season. Kulusevski is fundamental to what we want to do. And it just goes to show that I think, you know, with Kulusevski firing on all cylinders, Tottenham can achieve a lot this season. You know, it doesn't matter that, you know, people say, can they both play together, Maddison and himself? But it's good to have that versatility. Drop one, play the other, and then switch it round. That's what we want. We want the freshness. And I think these sort of players, Kulusevski, can unlock that forward line and just make this Tottenham team better. Even we saw Basuma at the weekend performing very, very well. And it's just that interchange between the fullbacks, the wingers, the striker, where I think Tottenham thrive. And some of the passing displays against West Ham were just absolutely incredible and out of this world. But I want to finish off with, in this video, a little bit of a clip from talkSPORT from Tony Cacarino talking about that James Maddison incident and also what Tottenham can do this season. And he has a bold prediction, which I'm going to react to after this.
Postecoglou made a big call. James Maddison coming off.
Yes.
I think his first team place is under threat, serious threat, because Sarr and Basuma give you way more energy in midfield. For Spurs, way more energy. That allows Kulusevski to get forward, who was, by the way, outstanding in the game. If not the best player, but one of the best players on the pitch. And it freed them up second half. West Ham have got no legs in their midfield. No legs at all. You know, whether it's Souček, whether it's, you know, look at Alvarez, you're looking at their team, you just no legs in there. Paquetá can't get round the pitch as like he should do. And it changed the whole dynamics of the game. And that is a big thing. Tottenham, this stage last year, after 8 games, were top of the league. They're 7 points off that, because they had 20 points last year after 8 games. This year, they're on 13. And there's something quite... Because I actually came away thinking, look, West Ham were terrible. The second half performance... I mean, I know you'll talk about Brentford's second half performance at Man United a bit later. But whatever. West Ham were all over the shop. I mean... Kudus gets sent off. He was one of their best players. He caused Tottenham a good number of issues in the game. But there were some good things. I thought Solanke was absolutely top-notch yesterday. Led the line brilliantly for Spurs. Brought players into the game for the goals that were scored. He just led the line fantastically well. But I did think, I mean, Porro, you know, the standout feature of Porro is after Trent, and I say after because he ain't far behind, is technically he's unreal. skill levels, he's got everything. But there is a risk element. And like for West Ham's goal, what was conceded, it came from the big diagonal ball to Kudus. He gets caught and it ends up going in the box and Kudus finishes it off. But there was lots of things in the game that I thought Tottenham, because I'd seen them live at the end of, in the start of May last year, the end of last season. I watched them live at Chelsea, and 4 days later I watched them live at Liverpool. And they were all over the place. Tottenham was so easy to play against. Yesterday, West Ham were poor in the second half, but they looked like they were a bit more rigid and a lot more solid than they have been. Look, Tottenham have got no problem now in scoring goals. There's not an issue at all with Tottenham getting goals. It's how dogged they can be and how hard to beat will define whether they can make the Champions League this year. Because if they can do that, defend to a different level, they've got a chance of making Champions League. Without that, they can't.
But yeah, I mean, I've sort of pinned my hopes on Tottenham maybe winning the Europa League, maybe finishing quite high up in the Premier League as well. So I do think there is a high chance, as I say, if we keep Kulusevski on firing form, why can't Spurs finish top 4? Why can't we maybe win a trophy under Ange Postecoglou? I think it could be coming back to, Tottenham this season. Champions League football and maybe a trophy, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, that is the video today. Let me know what you think of Kulusevski down in the comments below. Do you think he's been the player of the season so far? Or one of? Maybe Erling Haaland, maybe Cole Palmer's and people like that. But yeah, he's shown it against, a way big 6 team and West Ham now as well. So yeah, very happy with his displays from the weekend. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, leave a like, leave your comments, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and I'll be back for a reaction to our game against AZ Alkmaar. But until then, see you guys pretty soon. Ciao.